Hello, welcome to the Manic Pixie Dream Vlog. I'm your host, Caroline Georges, and welcome. So I was thinking about mortality. I was at work last night, and I had a pretty crazy night at work last night, actually. It was, I'll get into that later, but it started, my crazy night started with this new girl named Scarlett. She came in, I was in the dressing room by myself, and she came in, and she was crying. So I went over to check on her. And she told me that her friend had been shot and killed just that day. And she had just found out. So I was comforting her, and then she said, we just texted this morning. And she showed me their text exchanges. And they had just texted that morning. And I saw the last text this man ever sent her, where they're just chatting, you know. And then the next two text messages were like, are we meeting on Friday? And the other one was like some inside joke or something like that, you know. Yeah. So she just, so she was really upset. And then so I kind of dug into their relationship a little bit, and she divulged, he tried to sell her once. Like, he tried to set her up on dates. He tried to pimp her out. He tried to be her pimp. This guy just saw a job worth doing and just went ahead and did it, you know, without this girl's consent. He was like trying to pimp her out without her even agreeing to it first. So I guess, but you know, according to this girl, you know, the bad news is that a man who tries to sell women was shot and killed. But, you know, the good news is that sorry, that might be a little harsh, but I don't think very highly of men who do that. And just from what I know of these women, a lot of them are in really abusive relationships and are in really abusive friendships. And totally accept it as reality, as the way of things, and don't see their lives any differently. And it's weird because it's just like, was this guy really her friend? Were they really friends? You know? Like, just think about, like, all of the best moments you've had in your life with your friends. You know? All of the, you know, closest moments you've had with a friend. You know, imagine having that with somebody who tried to sell you. Could that happen? But she moved on from it pretty fast. Sorry. She moved on from it pretty fast. In fact, she had really bad tan lines. She had sunburn. She complained way more about having sunburn that night than she did about her friend dying. And so after she and I were done talking, I asked her if she wanted to go home, if she was going to go home to grieve. And Scarlett said no. That's not what Dwayne would have wanted. He wanted me to stay and work my shift. So that was for Dwayne. She worked an entire shift. She was totally fine. Like, she talked to guys, she went on stage, she did her thing. And she told me she was going to worry about dealing with what was going on tomorrow. So that's what's going on with her today. Her friend Dwayne died, and she's grieving the loss of her friend, and that's what's happening as we very well speak. She put it away. She just put it away, you know? Unless, I mean, because I was watching her throughout the night, you know, it's pretty mesmerizing. It's pretty mesmerizing seeing all those emotions in somebody and then them putting themselves out there sexually, you know? It's pretty amazing. And I don't know, I'll give Scarlett credit for that. She was doing her job and working really hard while grieving the loss of her friend. Damn it. But there's a lot of domestic violence. There's a lot of abuse that goes on at the club. A lot of the women experience that. There's one girl in particular who everyone's pretty fed up with. Everyone's pretty frustrated with her. People are kind of done hearing about her domestic violence issues and stuff. And I don't know. I'm always willing to hear it, and I have patience for it, but not a lot of the other girls do. And this girl, when they talk about her when she's not there, they call her a weak woman. They just think she's weak, and and you know, I mean, strippers, they really take pride in holding down a man. You know what I mean? They see that as an accomplishment. Like, that's my man, I'm holding him down, you know? And so when a woman is being abused by her man, you know, it's sort of like they see her as being weak, like she's not holding down her man. And I don't know, this girl, I remember once she said that her boyfriend was so sexy that he was Chris Brown times 10. So it's like, what does that say? You know, but I mean, yeah, he abuses her, but he looks like Chris Brown times 10. So I guess that's, you know, I don't know. Personally, it's like, how is she still alive if her boyfriend is Chris Brown times 10? But she does have an issue when he's on top of her. He'll climax on top of her without her permission. And, you know, that seems to be something that's very common. And so one of the other girls was telling her, like, you know, Barbie, why don't you just tell him to get off of you? You know, if you don't want him to come in you, if you don't want him to be on top of you when he climaxes, why don't you just tell him not to get on top of you when he does that? You know, why don't you tell him to get off of you? And which, I don't know, I guess under the circumstances, it all seemed like a totally fair question. But, I mean, the question, I know the answer to the question, though. She's being abused. She's brainwashed. You know, she doesn't know what she's doing. This is love. She's receiving love. There's something about somebody hurting you, caring enough to hurt you, that makes you fawn over them. You know? It's weird. It's like, when somebody abuses you, it's like they trust you. You know? It's like they're putting trust in you. To keep a secret, to not say anything. They're trusting you with the darkest, most disgusting parts of themselves, and they're trusting you with that, you know? I don't know. I mean, working at a strip club, there's something about men so willingly trusting you with their weakness that it's just, I don't know. But anyway, so this girl was telling her, like, why don't you ask this guy to get off of you when he's on top of you before he climaxes, so that way he doesn't do that. And Barbie said, well, what if he pops off on me? Good question. You know, and it was just, I don't know, like, I couldn't help but laugh a little bit when she said that, but I mean, she's receiving love. That's love. He loves her, you know? And it's like, I mean, is it love if you're doing that to someone, you know? Like, is it really, I mean, do they really love each other? Is that possible? So I made a killing last night. I was chased out of a gas station by one of my clients who got the wrong idea. And because here's the thing, I don't owe them anything. I give them a fantasy. I let them buy into whatever beliefs they want to have about the situation, and whatever they get wrong is completely on them. I'm just here presenting a fantasy. That's all I'm doing. That's my job, and that's what I do. And so this guy got the wrong idea. And so after we were out of the VIP, he was like, okay, so when are you off? When are we going to meet? And I was just kind of like, oh, I don't know. I have to go. I'm going to go, like, have a nice night, you know. And I took off. And then, but then he just, throughout the night, he wouldn't stop bothering me. He wouldn't stop leaving me alone. He was being a real asshole. And, you know, and just bothering me with this, you know. And so I mean, the guy was pretty done with his money, so I thought maybe he might be done with his life, you know? And so I told him what to do with it, you know, just like, dude, like, get a life. Why don't you just go meet? And I told him to, meet me in this parking lot that's adjoining to the club that I work at. And I told him I'd meet him there at 3:30 and to go and wait for me there. And this was around midnight. So, so he hung around the club for a little bit and then he left. And I thought he just kind of went home. No. He went and waited for me in that parking lot. And, which again, you know what? He can, I mean, honestly, I think I did the right thing. I think that guy needed time to go think things through, think through his life. You know, why is he harassing a stripper? Why is he, why is he at a strip club? Why is he doing drugs? Why is he drunk? Why is he doing these things? So I think that, sending him to the parking lot to go think about his life choices was, I think I did the right thing. And so he went and he waited for me in this parking lot and then came back and he was just like, "You're going to meet me in the parking lot, right? Because I've been waiting there and I don't know, are you going to come meet me in this parking lot?" And I was just like, yeah, like just go wait in the parking lot. I was just trying to get him away from me. I was just trying to get rid of him, And then he left again. And so then after my shift, I was hungry and I wanted to go to this gas station to get snacks. And then he was like across the street in the parking lot and he saw me and he ran over and he started like, just, Olivia. And I was like, oh, fuck. And so I went into the gas station. I went behind I'm nice to the man that works at the gas station. And so I asked him if I could go into the back of the gas station and he let me. And I went and I hid in the back of the gas station hoping that this guy would go away. And then he came in and he looked around and saw me in the back of the gas station. And so then we started talking and I was like hiding in the back of the gas station and he was like in front of the partition or whatever. And so and we're just having this conversation in front of this really sweet old man who works at the gas station, who works the swing shift at the gas station. And so he was like, "Are you skipping out on me?" And I was, hiding in the back of a gas station, so it's like, no, I'm not skipping out at you at all. Not what I'm doing. And, so, the guy who works at the gas station was just like, "Is everything okay? Do you need this guy to go?" And I was just like, I did, like, you know what, I have to set boundaries at some point. So I was just like, yeah, like this guy's bothering me. I don't know this guy. And I'm sorry, the look on this guy's face. Just, I don't know. But that was my Friday night. That was my Friday. And I had a show, and it was like in this garage, and I went, and there was just all these people there, and it started at 8 o'clock. And I did this show, and I hung out with all of these, comics and stuff, and it was all normal. It was all totally normal. And then I go to work, and my night just shifts. And I become this different person. And all of these crazy things happen to me. And it's crazy. I mean, really, like giving lap dances and stuff, it really is exhilarating. There is something so daring and so bold about it that's really addicting. And I don't know. Is it wrong that I find the money really validating? Money is validation for anything. But it's just like, is it wrong that I feel like I'm owed money for the services that I'm doing? I think I'm showing these guys a pretty good time. It's just inside the club, and I don't owe them anything. And I've made peace with that. I'm pretty okay with that. I do not owe these men anything. Whatever money they choose to give me, for whatever reason they choose to give it to me, I don't owe them anything. And, but yeah. that's my vlog for today. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely like and subscribe, share, comment. These are my life stories. These are just experiences I have and reflections I have and musings I've had on things. And if you appreciate my perspective on things, and if you like my message, and if you like my stories and stuff, just please share. It helps. Thanks. Bye.